in my opinion, there's three main skills in business in general. You got to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to build. You got to learn how to lead. So you got to learn how to get people to give you money for stuff. You got to have the stuff to sell them. And then you got to have people that work on your side to help deliver on those other two. If you can do those three things, you're unstoppable. And if you do one of those three things, you can make as much, like you can still make a ton of money. But if you can do all three, you're unbeatable.
Mm-hmm. Sell, build, like building a team, building.
So that would be on the lead side. The building is like the product and services that you have. So you have to figure out a way to deliver value to somebody.
To develop a program, a product, a service that you can package and sell.
And people are like, well, how do I do that? All you have to do, this is the perspective thing we were saying earlier. It's like, I don't know where their opportunity is, and people who are entrepreneurs see opportunity everywhere. It's like, and my biggest regret in life is that I can't live multiple lives because there's so many things I want to do. But it's because all you have to do is look for problems. You look for things that people hate. You look for inefficiencies. You just look for things that are nuisances. Like, what are things that people do every day that they hate doing? Like, and a big misnomer, I think, is that people think they need to have a new thing. You can start a cleaning business, become a billionaire. You can start a lawn care business, become a billionaire. You can start a roofing business, become a billionaire. Like, there's clear problems. Like, all you have to do is just do what everyone else is doing, learn how to sell, learn how to deliver consistently, and learn how to lead.
Yes.
If you do those three things, you can do just as well as everyone else and just do it better.
I was in the elevator this morning coming here, and I have this cat sitter that used to watch my cats, right? And he mostly works in a different building that I used to live in. Now I'm in a new building. He was in the new building because he had some other dogs. He's a dog walker, right?
Yeah.
But I asked him to watch my cats one time. And he literally, for 30 seconds in the elevator, I was like, hey man, good to see you. And I go, dude, how much you making now? Because I see him hustling. I see him like walking around with all these dogs. I'm like, and his prices went up over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like when I first had him watch my cats, it was like $25. Now it's like $40 for a session. I'm like, I go, dude, what are you making? Like $500-600 a day? He goes, I go, 1,000? I go, 2,000? He goes, I go, 3? He goes, around 3K a day. I go, what? Walking dogs.
Yeah.
And I go, he goes, now it's 7 days a week. It's a grind.
Yeah.
I've got 3 employees now who are like
just
walking dogs, but he's like the go-to guy in Beverly Hills. And he's like independent. He's not with some, big dog walking company or something, but $3,000 a day walking dogs. I go, there's a need, especially in this community where people are busy, but they love their dogs and they have money to spend on their dogs.
Yeah.
And he is providing a service. It's incredible. $3,000 a day, man. It's crazy.
I love this
I'm in the wrong business. I need to be walking dogs,
I love this example because it's perfect, because everyone can understand it. It's like, what's the problem that they're solving? It's like, people don't have time to work their dogs. Whenever you're looking at any problems, time is one of the easiest ones to solve, is that people don't want to take the time to do something, right? It takes too long. You want to do it faster. Jason Fladlien said the easiest business model in the world is find what someone else is doing, do it in half the time. It's just, you can do it, and you can look at any business that exists and do that, right? And so it's like, what did he have to do? He had to learn how to sell, which means he had to get people to give him money for the dogs, which part of that's marketing, but I'm just wrapping that.
Right.
Promotion, getting people to give you money. He had to learn how to deliver, which is like, okay, what are the best routes to walk on? How do I manage 17 leashes at the same time? Like, he had to figure all that stuff out, right? And then you had to learn how to lead. So he has 2 employees or 3 employees.
Now he's got employees, but before he was like exhausted. But now he's figuring out how to build and lead.
And what'll happen is he'll stop walking dogs, and then he'll have
a team. He'll be managing it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so it's like that's such a perfect microcosm of the 3 skills being put to use.
No, it's taken him years to do it. It didn't happen overnight. He had to build his brand. He had to, show that he could deliver the value of the product consistently, and all these different things. He had to be communicating and be reliable. All these things, and he was like, "I'm doing it 7 days a week."
Yeah.
So he has no life, right? So it's like an extreme, but it's possible. And so the 3 skills I heard you say is sell, build, and lead. You can never get enough training on how to lead yourself and how to lead others, because there's so much of a world inside of each one of us that has to learn how to overcome insecurities, fears, traumas, triggers that will make us poor leaders of ourselves and of others, so that people respect and trust us. So leading skills is probably the hardest.
And it's also the one that's almost a meta skill in that it actually can layer on top of the other 2. So if you think about it like as a hypothetical example, imagine I know how to recruit and lead people. And I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know anything about sales. I don't know anything about delivery. But I have a vision for what I want to accomplish, a problem that I want to solve that's meaningful to me, and I think it'll be meaningful to other people. I can compel people. I can persuade them and influence them to want to work and help me solve this huge problem together, right? And so you don't even, like, real talk, you don't even have to know how to sell and how to market. You don't have to know how to build a product, build a service team, because if you can lead, you can get all those other people to do that
And leading is also selling in a sense. If you're
100%.
if you're a leader, if you're a
100%.
leader, your energy is an enrolling energy. Your way of being, how you show up, how you communicate, is selling you and your vision.
Yeah.
You don't need to know how to sell a product and get on stage and say, buy my stuff.
Right,
but you need to be able to enroll people into a vision that they are in alignment with.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the hardest skills because people don't have the belief in themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't believe in themselves. They don't love themselves enough to be enrolling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so they discount, and that doubt, people can feel that energy in that doubt.
Yeah. You have to be certain, not confident. You know what I mean? I think part of, and so it's easy to say what we just said about the whole leading thing. And like, as much as everyone's like, well, I'll just jump straight to leading. Man. I feel like there's some sort of like, and this is me, I could be speaking a limiting belief of my own, so, disclaimer, right? But it is my belief that there's a certain amount of like spiritual strength that you gain from having done stuff, right?
Developing skills.
Right, developing the skills. Because
you build confidence with these skills.
Yeah, because you have evidence.
Results.
Yeah, and so people, you can enroll someone, you can subscribe someone to your vision, and because the first question someone's going to always ask is, why should I listen to you, or why should I follow you specifically, right? And unless you have a solid answer, that's not you being crazy, right? Being like, I have done these things. They give me evidence that I can move the goalpost further than what we have done before because of what I have done behind me, right? Because of the path I've already walked. And so I think like learning how to sell, learning how to build are the first two skills, and then leading you learn consistently along the way for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. What would you say are the most important habits someone can develop for themselves on a daily basis to support their opportunities for earning more?
Most important lessons that I've learned in my life have come from doing and mentors. And so on a day-to-day basis, it's reducing the time between when you wake up and when you begin working, right? A lot of people lollygag and delay and procrastinate and things like that. And if you just think about there's only a certain amount of time in the day, I want to increase my output per unit of time as much as possible. A lot of people have these superstitions that they have to do a certain thing or they must do X, Y, and Z. But all you have to do is talk to a single mom who has like 5 kids and they still start businesses. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're waking up and they're working before their kids are up, and then once their kids go to bed, they work then too, right? And they're not doing all the lollygag stuff that you see trending all over social media. It's like they're working. And so like the single greatest skill, in my opinion, is being able to find a place that you can shut out external stimuli and you can focus.
Yes.
Because for me, the single highest ROI habit that I have is that for me, between 5 a.m. and noon, I have nothing on my calendar. It is just work, no meetings, and then all my meetings happen after noon. This is for the entrepreneur. Now, if you're like in a job right now, then it's got to be in the morning before you go to work and in the evening after you come back from work. But like having that dedicated time, and if you're like, well, I'm not a morning person, fine, then just work late. Like that's okay. Like I've got billionaire buddies who are like, oh, I wake up at 10. But they work really late. That's their special time that no one bothers them. It tends to be at the bookends of the day, though, just from my experience, because in the middle of the day you get pestered, and it's hard to get into that deep focus, that deep learning that you get when you really pour yourself into something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I saw Layla mention this in a video clip where she was like, I just wake up and I start working. She's not spending an hour morning routine or something like that. And I think you got to figure out who you are. It's like if you want to spend an hour or two in the morning and taking coffee and going for a walk and working out and kind of like preparing yourself, great. I think for me, there is some importance to, at some point in the day, setting an intention either for the day or at night for the next day.
Agreed.
So if you want to get up and work right away, at night, what are the 3 most important things, or what are the actions you're going to take that are to get you closer to your vision that next day? So having some 5-10 minutes to have an intention and then act on it, right? As opposed to just reacting to the world.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I believe. But
there was this one, to consolidate what we were saying earlier, because this matters a lot to me.
Give it to me.
Most skills can be learned decently with about 20 hours of focused effort. 20 hours. Like the first 20 hours of you actually doing something, you learn the most you're going to learn about the thing. If you just consider by percentage of learning from like, nothing to 20 hours in, you already have a really good understanding of the thing. The problem is that most people will take years to start the first hour. And so that habit that you're referencing is that my speed, at least now as I've gotten better at this stuff, is that like I try and detract the time from when I want to learn something or when I want to start doing something to starting it as soon as I can, because I just want to start getting through those 20 hours as fast as I can.
Yes.
And so that's just been a very tangible, because it seems like this amorphous thing, but there was a study that was done. There was like, in the first 20 hours, you can learn almost any skill. Playing guitar, running an ad, doing a call, like you will learn more in that first 20 hours than any other time. So it's like, then just get to that 20 hours and don't delay.
Yes.
And that's been one of the deepest lessons I've had, because it took me 4 years to learn how to build a website, and it took me 1 day to actually learn.
Crazy. Because you decided to act on the learning.
4 years to delay and procrastinate and say, I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a tech person. This isn't my kind of thing. I'm a gym guy. I'm a local business owner. I should pay somebody to do this. I'm above this kind of thing. Like all these stories, right? And then one day I sat down on a Sunday morning. I was like, I'm going to learn this thing.
And you Googled it and you just learned it?
Step by step by step. And you know what? I set the whole day aside. It took me 4 hours.
Crazy.